Welcome to Blending with Henry, the #1 channel on YouTube for blender reviews and delicious blender recipes. Hey you guys, how you doing? My name is Henry. Today is going to be a big show. Now you guys, I received multiple requests to do different blender reviews, but this is the first time I received multiple requests to do a Vitamix blender I had never heard of yet, okay? I mean, really me, right? Okay. And this machine is called the Vitamix 780. It's all new, it's innovative, it has a capacitive touchscreen, it's beautiful. I can't wait to show it to you guys. And I have some really great recipes I'm going to be making with it, including, are you guys ready? Some fresh baked bread. I'm going to be using the Vitamix 780 to create it. I can't wait to show it to you. So if you guys are ready, so am I. Let's get started. Vitamix was gracious enough to gift this machine to me so I could present it to you guys. Finally, the long-awaited review for the Vitamix 780. Now you guys, I've been looking forward to doing this review. Now, this machine, when I first saw it online, I wasn't too intrigued about how it looked. But when I saw it in person, it is stunning. You have to see it in person to appreciate it. The front panel is high gloss black and all glass. It is absolutely a beauty. We'll get into the front panel in a few minutes. Now first, if you have an older Vitamix and want to upgrade, you tend to wonder if the new product is compatible with your existing containers. So this machine is compatible with many existing Vitamix containers. Now this is the next generation 64-ounce container with the wide shape and its low profile. Now along with this container, the 780 is compatible with other commonly used containers. It's compatible with the 32-ounce wet container, and this is a perfect companion to the 64-ounce. And I like this container, you guys, because it's excellent for making various recipes for 1 or 2 people. It's also compatible with the 32-ounce dry container. Now the dry container is designed for grinding grains, milling herbs, and grinding various other dry ingredients. It's an invaluable tool, you guys, and it turns your Vitamix into a food processor, and I'll show you. I'll be using this later in the video. When you first turn on the Vitamix 780, you're greeted with a nice little light show. Okay? Now, it's actually very beautiful. This is a capacitive touchscreen panel and it's all glass, you guys. It's a glossy deep black and it resists scratches and cracks. But don't throw a hammer to it, okay? Now, the user interface is very simplified. So over here in the program section, you just tap your selection and it lights up. So you can choose smoothie. You can also choose the frozen dessert. And over here is the hot soup, and then puree, and then cleaning. Very light to the touch. Then over here, you have your start and stop. And over here, you have a variable speed control slider. Now it takes a little getting used to, so I usually use my thumb and slide from speed 1 to 10. You can also slide right back down to speed 1. And also, I like how you can choose the speed number that you prefer. So okay, over here is your pulse. The pulse feature is very handy. You can choose whatever speed you prefer to pulse on. So say you choose number 6 right over here. Okay, then you simply tap the pulse. Or you can choose speed number 1 and pulse the same way. Now this is a very easy to read display, you guys, and there's virtually no learning curve. I do wish Vitamix had put a time counter on the bottom of it so you can monitor the blending times. However, I think Vitamix did a very good job on this touch panel. The nice thing about the capacitive touchscreen is that since it doesn't have any knobs or switches for liquids to seep down into, if you spill liquids on the control panel, it's an easy wipe. Just simply wipe it just like that. Now I had an accident earlier, you guys, so I want you to take a look at this. Another nice thing about the touchscreen is that it's very usable for a real-world kitchen. Now, first of all, you guys, here's my iPhone. Now, I have to make sure my hands are very clean in order to use it. But with the 780's capacitive touchscreen, this is made for a real-world kitchen. Let me show you. So I'm going to wet my fingers with water. And watch this. I can still operate the presets in the program section. I can operate the slider control with wet fingers, okay? But what about oil? Here's some olive oil right here. Now the thing is, when you're cooking, your fingers get oily, sticky, yucky, gross. Okay? I mean, lots of oil right here, you guys, okay? Now once again, I can operate the slider control, and I can operate the program section with my fingers dripping in oil. Everything works perfectly. No problems whatsoever. And now I want to talk about power cords. Now you guys, I always talk about power cords in my videos, but mainly because of the quality. Now all three of these actually have very good quality cords. Now, each machine on the left and the right are Vitamix competitors. Now the one thing that's different is these cords hang off the machine. Now I thought this machine had a retractable cord because it looks like it does, but it doesn't, okay? Right. Now, on this machine, the cord is connected to the outside of the body. So now you have all these long hanging cords. Now, all current full-size Vitamix machines have a built-in cord wrap. So you can look underneath here. And you can see where you can actually wrap the cord around the spool. Now, it simply unwraps so you can wrap it right back in. And you can choose the length of the cord. This is very handy. You know, you guys, sometimes the little things make that big of a difference. And lastly, I want to touch on these two machines. Now, the Vitamix 780 is not a Vitamix 750 with a touchscreen. Okay, so yes, they both have similar functionality. So they both have 5 pre-programmed settings, a pulse operation, and a variable speed control. Same thing here, 5 pre-programmed settings, a pulse switch, and a variable speed control. Now the difference is, with the 750, if you're a demanding cook or a chef, and you like to have total hands-on control of your blends, you want to be able to make your creations manually on your own, then you want to choose a Vitamix 750, because this will have manual speed control. This will have a pulse so you can toggle. So this is going to give you more of the chef style type of control, which chefs are accustomed to. Now, if you have a family and you want something nice and easy to use and simple, the touchscreen on the 780 is a very simplified operation. It's not intimidating for most people. Now most people will probably use the presets, and it's very easy to keep clean, especially if you have a family. And there's no learning curve, so this would be a machine great for families due to the touchscreen. And the uncluttered design fits very well in most kitchens. But if you want to have more control, then you definitely want to choose a Vitamix Pro 750. Now one more thing I want to touch on, you guys, before we start making the recipes is the recipe book. And this is becoming very rare with even high performance machines. They are no longer coming with recipe books. They want you to buy them separately. Vitamix still includes a recipe book with all their machines, including the certified reconditioned machines. And they give you a very, very nice book, and they tailor that book to the actual machine that you're actually purchasing. Okay? So let me show you this here. First, I'm going to open it up. What I like is they automatically give you a getting started guide right over here. Okay, for a quick start. In the book over here, they teach you about cleaning, they teach you about the different ingredients, what these button operates and what they do on the machine. Over here, they show you how to correctly load the container so you can get the perfect blend. They show you about juicing so you can make different drinks. Just any picture you choose. Dry chopping over here. Flour to make whole grain flour. We're going to be doing that today. For beverages. And you can just pick any page, and lots of full color photos, which is really nice. It's a very good high quality book. So I like the fact that Vitamix still offers these type of things to their customers, and they show that they really care about their customers. Okay, you guys, so now I'm going to make my careless smoothie. Now I just throw everything inside of it without measuring and just let it rip. Now, before I show you guys that, I'm going to tell you, I have Vitamix customers who bought a Vitamix from me, and they will email me telling me they got chunks on their first blend. So I'll say, well, how did you blend it? And they'll say, well, they felt it was so powerful that they just moved it up to speed 6 right here, and they said that's all they felt they needed, and it came out in chunks. And I'll go, no, 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 no. It has to be at the highest speed, like right here on speed 10, in order to get the perfect blend. Now that's how they do it at the smoothie shops or any place else that serves smoothies. So that's one thing I like about this machine. It shows you how to make a smoothie. It's going to start out on the lowest speed and it's going to gradually increase to the highest speed. Let me show you. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to put in one large banana. And I have a bag of frozen blueberries. And keep in mind, you guys, I don't do any measurements on my careless smoothie. Just throw it in. And I have some old-fashioned oats. I'm just going to pour them in, and you know, there's no amount of measurement. Just sometimes I'll put more, sometimes I'll put less. And this is my favorite quality protein powder. And I have some sunflower seeds here, and I'm not going to put the whole thing, but just a few. Okay. Now I'm going to carefully pour in this almond milk. Like I made a mistake last time, okay? Just a small amount. And I have some filtered water. You know, I always like to use a little bit of water because, of course, you cook oatmeal with water, okay? But it's a perfect blend with the milk, so I always like to do a little bit of half and half. And I'm going to put a couple of handfuls of ice. And I always like to put a lot of ice because I like to have it nice and frosty. Okay, I'm going to get the lid cover. Oh, I didn't want to forget the tamper because we're supposed to use it. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Hold on. Here's the thing, you guys. A few of Vitamix's competitors claim that Vitamix machines can't break down the ice without taking a plunger and jamming it down in the top. That's not true. Let me show you here. This is a very narrow container with very little bit of liquid and lots of dry ingredients, frozen blueberries, and a lot of ice at the top. Okay, so you guys, an industry first. I am not going to use the blender lid, okay? At least not for the first few seconds. I want you to watch how the ice gets sucked down to the ingredients. I'm going to use the smoothie preset and watch as it starts from variable speed 1 and it's going to gradually increase to the highest speed. Remember to watch the ice. Okay, I got my nice glass here to pour my careless protein shake into. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid. And, you know, guys, take a look at this. The lid is so clean, I could have blended without the lid. Okay? And see how smooth it is? All right, now for the pour. Now look at that, you guys. Smooth. Absolutely love it. And it's got a little frost to it, which I absolutely love. That's why I put a lot of ice in it. There's no evidence of the oatmeal. There's no evidence of the seeds from the blueberries. It's a perfectly smooth blend. And there you go. If I knew it was going to be this easy to make bread using my Vitamix, I would have done it a long time ago, you guys. So let's take a look at the recipe. 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, rapid rise or active dry yeast, 1 cup of warm milk heated to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 room temperature egg, 2 tablespoons of light olive oil. And let's get started. Okay, you guys, so in order to make wheat bread, we need to have wheat flour. So I'm going to be using the Vitamix 32-ounce dry container. It's called dry because you use it to grind dry ingredients such as wheat berries in order to make the wheat flour. Now, it uses a special blazer at the bottom, which is designed to push the ingredients upwards away from the blades, as opposed to the wet container that makes smoothies that pulls the ingredients downwards towards the blades, okay? So that's how the dry blade container works. Okay, you guys, we're talking fresh. So I've got 2 cups of wheat berries, and I got these from my local bulk food store, very affordable. Okay, I'm attaching the lid. And I'm going to start off on variable speed 1, and I'm going to quickly increase to the highest speed. I'm going to break down the wheat berries into flour in 1 minute. Ah, it looks great, you guys. Nice and powdery. Now go ahead and sift it and give it about 20 minutes to cool. Okay, we're ready to put together our ingredients. So we have 2 cups of whole wheat flour. And 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Now the reason why I'm using all-purpose flour is because wheat bread by itself is very dense. So you want to have more of a fluffier texture. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, I'm using rapid rise instant yeast, but you can also use active dry yeast. You'll just have to hydrate the yeast before you add it in. Okay, I'm securing the lid in place. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it on variable speed 3 right over here. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to go ahead and blend until you see a hole form at the top. Here's a view from the top so you can see how the cavity was created. Now with the cavity created in our flour, we're going to pour in 1 cup of warm milk. Heat is 115 degrees. Now at that temperature, it will activate the yeast. Now you want to make sure that your milk is between 110 degrees Fahrenheit and 120 degrees Fahrenheit in order to activate the yeast. 1 room temperature egg. 2 tablespoons of light olive oil. Securing the lid in place. I'm going to go ahead and start the machine. And at this point, we want to just make sure that everything is mixed together. So we're going to put it on variable speed 3, and we're going to blend for only about 5 seconds. Now you're going to take a firm spatula and begin to scrape the walls of the container. So the whole idea here is to move the flour off the walls of the container and down towards the blades. So the blades can mix all the wet and dry ingredients to create the dough and begin to knead. Securing the lid in place. And now we're going to go back to variable speed 10 and begin pulsing multiple times, about 5 to 6 times. And now you're going to go ahead and scrape the sides down once again, making sure the ingredients end up at the bottom where the blades are. And then when you're done, go back on the highest speed 10 and pulse multiple times. And that's basically it. Between 5 to 10 minutes, your dough will begin to form. And if it begins to get a little bit sticky or dry, you can go ahead and add a little bit of water to loosen things up, about 1 tablespoon at a time. And now we're going to hold the pulse button down because we're going to get the dough off the blades. And that's it, you guys. And now I'm going to spoon the dough into this bowl. But I also sprayed the bowl with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray to prevent sticking. Shocker, right you guys? Real bread dough, okay? You're never really sure it's really going to happen until you start spooning it out. That's when you see it really did happen. Okay, you guys, here's our mound of dough. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the dough out from the bowl. I'm going to put it right here on the surface. Now I'm going to take a little bit of flour, just a little bit, just so I can dust the top so to prevent it from sticking. So at this point, there's no kneading to be done, okay? All we want to do right now is just form this into a nice round ball. I call this spanking the baby, okay? No, actually, that's what it's called, okay? So you guys don't go writing me telling me I'm being an abuser, okay? Okay, now I'm starting to form a ball here. And just a few more spanks, you guys, and we're all done. Now I'm going to lay a kitchen towel over the dough and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Okay, you guys, let's take a look. Whoa, it got bigger really fast, okay? It's rising already. Let's get started. Now I'm going to prepare the dough so it can fit into this 9x4-inch loaf pan, which I pre-greased. So what I'm going to do here now is just flatten out the dough. So I'm going to just lightly press it so it can actually fit the size and shape of the pan. Now you guys, once you flatten out the dough, you just want to make sure it's the same length of the bottom of the loaf pan. And now I'm going to be rolling the dough. Yeah, I'm rolling in dough. I wish, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just roll the dough until it becomes a cylindrical shape to fit the loaf pan. And then on the ends, you're going to just kind of slightly tuck them in. Now the folds at the bottom and the seam, you want to make sure that part is lying at the bottom of the loaf pan. And that's how it looks, you guys. And it was relatively simple because the Vitamix dry container did most of the hard labor in terms of all the kneading of the dough. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the towel back over it again so it can go ahead and rise. And I would say at this point about 45 minutes to an hour. Preheat your oven 375 degrees. Okay, you guys, let's take a look. Oh, yeah, perfect. Ta-da! Okay. Had to be a little bit dramatic there. Okay. So you know what? This is beautiful. It's ready for the oven. If you want to put a little egg wash at the top just to give it a little bit of a shine, you can do that. It's going to take about 30 minutes to bake. So halfway into the baking, you want to take this aluminum foil and lay the dull side on top of the bread. This is going to prevent the top of the bread from turning brown too quickly. And now into the oven for 30 minutes. While we're waiting for our bread to bake, you guys, let's make a nice orange honey butter spread to go along with it. This is so easy and so delicious, you guys. Here's the recipe. 3 sticks of unsalted sweet cream butter, 3 tablespoons of honey, 1/2 a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 a teaspoon of orange extract. And let's get started. To make the orange honey butter spread, I'm going to be using the Vitamix 32-ounce wet container. So here we go. So I'm starting off with 3 tablespoons of unsalted sweet cream butter. The next ingredient will be honey, and you can use pretty much any type of honey that you like. Now you guys, I sprayed the spoon with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray, and this will prevent the honey from sticking to the spoon. I got that idea from one of my viewers. So thank you. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And now I'm going to be adding orange extract. And you guys, this gives a nice orange hue to our butter without being too overpowering. So I'm going to be putting in 1/2 teaspoon of orange extract. Securing the lid in place. I'm going to use the tamper to help process the ingredients. Now because butter can stick to the walls of the container, I'm going to spin the tamper around just a little bit as I'm pressing downwards into the butter. I'm going to start on variable speed 1 and quickly increase to the highest speed. Okay, let's take a look. Oh man, this looks amazing, you guys. It's rich and creamy. Now you know this doesn't require very long to blend, and you want to be careful not to over blend because the blaze will heat up the butter, and you know what happens after that, okay? It's ready to serve right now, especially if you have guests, or if you just want to indulge into it. But I'll put it into the refrigerator for maybe a good 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, you guys, take a look at this. Ah, that bread came out perfect and it smells amazing. I wish you were here. Okay, so I pulled it out of the loaf pan so it can have a chance to cool. And look at the top of that crust, you guys. Absolutely beautiful, even browning. And I'm going to leave it on this cooling rack for a couple of hours before I slice it. While we're waiting for our fresh baked bread to cool down, let's make a nice pot of tomato basil soup to go along with it. You guys, this is so delicious and so simple to make, you can make it at the last minute. So here's the recipe. 3 cups of low sodium vegetable broth, 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes, 1/3 cup of red bell pepper, 1 cup of fresh basil leaves, 2 cups of parsnips, 1/2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and a dash of hot sauce. And let's get started. To make the tomato basil soup, I'm going to be using the Vitamix 64-ounce wet container. So I have 3 cups of low sodium vegetable broth. Now you guys, I'm using boiling broth right from the stove. Now the Vitamix can make hot soup on its own from cold liquids in about 6 minutes, but I'm going to be using boiling broth to speed up the process. 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Now these are very dense, so you can make a large pot of soup from just a small amount. 1/3 cup of red bell pepper. 1 cup of fresh basil leaves packed. 2 cups of parsnips. Now you guys, these are like a secret weapon. to thicken your soup. It'll make it nice and creamy. You know, you can also use carrots or different types of vegetables to make your soup creamy so you can avoid dairy altogether. So I'm using 2 cups of parsnips, 1½ teaspoons of kosher salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a few dashes of your favorite hot sauce. I guess you know which one's my favorite. Securing the lid in place. And now I'm going to go into the program section and choose the hot soup preset, which blends for about 6 minutes. Now because I use hot boiling broth already, you guys, I'm just going to blend for 3 minutes. Now I slowed the Vitamix down, you guys, because I want to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil towards the end before we finish blending. This will reduce the foam and add richness to the soup. So I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid. Oh man, look at that towering inferno in there, okay? Actually, it looks like hot lava in there, you guys, okay? So I have this ladle here. I'm going to take a dip so you guys can take a real good close-up of this hot tomato basil soup. Oh man, look at it. It's creamy and smells so good. I can smell that fresh basil. So here is our completed meal, you guys. I have a nice loaf of fresh baked wheat bread, a hot pot of tomato basil soup made with fresh ingredients, and this delicious, creamy, rich orange honey butter. Mmm, so good. Now, if you guys want a dairy-free alternative, I also have this orange cashew honey butter. Roughly the same recipe. 2 cups of cashews, 2 tablespoons of honey, and 1/2 teaspoon of orange extract, no salt added. So let's check out this bread, okay, you guys? Okay. Oh man, you guys, this bread is so nice and hearty, and it's really soft. It came out really, really good. Okay, so let's try some of that creamy orange honey butter. Mmm. And get a slice of our hearty wheat bread and just spread it on. Oh man, you guys. Oh, lucky me, I get to taste it. Okay. Check that out. Doesn't that look amazing? And it's all mine. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and move the butters over to the side over here so I can serve up the tomato basil soup. Oh man, you guys should smell this. It smells fantastic. Oh, and I'm going to show it to you close up one more time before I pour it up. You got to see this, okay? Oh man, look at that, you guys. It's so beautiful. Really good soup. I'm going to go ahead and pour it up here. It's so creamy. It's really rich. You know, and once again, you guys, there's no dairy. You know, it's just vegetables making a beautiful, rich soup. Who knew? And you guys, it does take the right kitchen tool to make something this amazing. It's so easy. In this case, it's the Vitamix. Like they said, every great recipe has a secret ingredient. Now I'm going to go ahead and garnish the soup with a little bit of EVOO, or extra virgin olive oil. I've heard people say that on TV, okay? And I also like to crack some fresh black pepper on top. And now I'm going to add a fresh basil leaf to dress up the soup. It also gives people an idea about what's actually in the soup. So I'm going to bring this close up, you guys, and just look how beautiful that soup is. It's so rich and creamy, and it smells amazing, you guys. You guys ever seen